Welcome to the Architekturfilmtage Zürich. My name is Giuseppe di Salvatore. I work from filmexplorer.ch, and it's a pleasure now to have the possibility to discuss with Rikke, Selin and Kaspar Astrup Schröder, the filmmaker of the film Making a Mountain that is screened in the festival. And so, yeah, welcome here in this very
Thank you. Thanks.
Where are you? You are in Copenhagen.
I am in Copenhagen. Yeah, just north of Copenhagen. Rikke is somewhere else.
Yes, I am 1 hour away from Copenhagen, next to a fjord. Yes, by the sea.
Okay, so you told us that you just came back from the sea.
Yes, from sailing. Yes.
I mean, you are both from Copenhagen. I mean,
yes.
And so for you, the project of the power plant, the new power plant in Amager, so Amagerbakke, it was not something special to discover. I mean, it's a common knowledge. All the people knew about this project, I imagine, because it's a big project. So the question will be more, how was the decision to do a film about this? Was it commission or was your initiative? How was it possible also to start this project from the very beginning?
It actually started as a commission made by someone else, and then we took over, and Rikke and I came in quite late in the process. But I think what was intriguing us and everyone here in Copenhagen is that, yes, this building was going to be made, but was it really going to succeed? Like this crazy idea of having a mountain on top of a power plant in the city center sounds so outrageous that I think everyone was wondering, will it happen? Will it succeed? So I think that was why we wanted to make this film, to explore that and just to tell this crazy story about something so unique that it would be interesting for us to share that story.
And for you, Rikke, you start collaborating from the begining, or?
No. I came. Kaspar called me. He said, "Have this film," and I normally edit, and then said Kaspar said yes, but let's try to co-direct it, which is a lot of fun, and also edit it after. But it was kind of because we had this. There was a lot of some of the material shot in all the meetings were already made because they filmed all over the years, over 10 years,
yeah,
a long time. So they had all but we kind of have to try to change it into a more visual concept of story, find the story within the story. And so we did that together, and it was very playful, and it's a very fun process to be in, and doing it together. That was a lot of fun. So we started from, so all the old material was already there with the handheld small cameras. And so we did the rest.
Kaspar, I know that you know very well Bjarke Ingels. You already work with him, I mean, in films, about other filming projects. Was this a main advantage? I mean, or probably also a problem in a sense, because you know probably too well, you have not this distance. How was at least the beginning, the approach to him and to this special project?
Yeah, that's true. I've made 2 films already where he's the main protagonist. So I do know him very well. But I also know that he's a great storyteller. And I think most of his projects are telling stories about exploring how we live our lives as human beings in architecture. So I think in that sense, I was already on a path that I knew worked well with him. But of course, there were challenges with this project that were, how would it be complete, and would it go all the way along with his vision. But also, I think this project was more about the building than him as a character, whereas the other projects I had made was focusing more on him. He is definitely telling this story, but it's the building that was our idea of a main character. And I think when Rikke came in and when we talked about this as the concept of the film, everything else kind of came in together. But of course, we wanted his voice in it because he is a great storyteller, and it's his idea, his vision. So it was a different kind of exploration in an architecture film for me, as opposed to what I have done with him previously.
You told us that it was a commission at the beginning, or it remains a commission. I mean, I would like to know about the freedom that you had to organize the film. Of course, with the permission, it will not a problem, I imagine, but about the freedom, because I like the way the film is done. You start with I have the impression we start with images, and then you develop a story. And was this freedom always there, or how was it?
Yeah, it was actually always there. I think when they approached me, like the building themselves, the entrepreneurs, they approached us and said if we wanted to take over and complete it. I was not reluctant in the beginning, but I was like, I don't want to make a commercial. I want to make something that is visually stunning and a story that is not like a commercial. And they embraced that completely. So we had a total freedom. So that was a very short meeting around that, which could have been a problem, but it wasn't. And I don't even think they had an idea of what we were making until we presented it. And they loved it. So it could have gone the other way, but thankfully it didn't.
No, but they were just giving it to us, saying, because they said, okay, you are the filmmakers. I mean, and we will make it into, and I think it was also part of their kind of, to give it to us instead of doing it themselves. They could do it in their, internal, whatever company, to make it, with us was also to make it into a film and not just a presentation or something. They didn't say anything, and I think we showed them first time 1 week before we finished editing or something, 3 days before finishing editing or something like that, and they were so happy. It was not like and it was more like spelling the names right and things like that. It was just it was the best job ever in that sense. So we were they were very confident that, and also because they've seen Kaspar's film about Bjarke before, so they were very confident that we kind of wanted to do it, with a lot of love, and but also with, as you talk to them first in the beginning, it was like, but they are ups and downs, and we have to tell all the stories and where it goes wrong, and and they completely got that from the beginning. So we were really playing around. So we had a lot of fun playing in wide shots and loud music, and really feeling free to do. I think that was really like to give us the freedom to actually play around. I think that was kind of what we had each other to kind of what it called, play with.
From we learn a lot in this film. So some information for people that don't know about this special project. In a sense, one could say that we don't learn a lot about the architecture if you consider architecture in a very old-fashioned way, that is the building, the aesthetic of the building, and so. And I think that actually there's an advantage, because I have the impression, this film is now screened in Architecture Film Festival. It's not the first one for you, and I have the impression that in this way, you show a sort of holistic way to approach architecture. Instead, architecture is not just the building; it's what is the process to create a building. It's what does it mean, and the economic and social implication of this building. So, was it an intention to have this view about this building, not specifically about how is the wall, or I don't know, aesthetic of the.
Yeah, I can start. I think we really wanted to express how we always say epicness of the film, or of the building, how amazing the idea of that project is, and we do go into a little bit of details with the surfaces and some of the complications with budgets and where to cut things, and also kind of like telling that story, because building a building is so complicated, and it takes so many defeats before you get a successful outcome. So I think that was like small things we would put in, but it was really about this huge building that we wanted to explore, rather than too many details or too much for the architecture nerds. We wanted to also broaden it out and just celebrate this idea.
And also, I also think that it's very much Bjarke. Bjarke, he thinks bigger than the building. That is his mantra, or whatever it's called. It is kind of to, it's life. Architecture is life, or whatever. It's kind of, so it was also inspired about, also to bring, like, making the building the main character, and then what happens around it, as in a storyline, as you would do if you had the main protagonist. Then we start with the building, but it's also the mindset of Bjarke, but also Ulla, who is the woman, the very colorful woman who is the CEO. It's also the way she thinks. So it's also bringing. So the way the film is told is very much reflect the characters in it.
Yeah, what I found very interesting is exactly the spirit of Bjarne Ingels, and in general, and I think that today architecture speaks about this. It speaks not only about the material aspect of a building, but it's a way of thinking about space and how space can be shaped, and actually the consequences about in a town or in a society. And I think Bjarke Ingels is a sort of this mindset from Bjarke Ingels is quite strong, and this is well interpreted, I think, in this film. But just to remain on this point of view, I mean, the image from this point of view are very strong in your film, but are also very concentrated on the power plant itself. So how was for you the choice to remain on these? Because, for example, I mean, you speak about future, so why not images about children? You speak about mountains, why not images about mountains? So why not to go farther, in a sense, in the image and remain on these? So was it in the moment in the construction of the film the idea to go larger or not? I don't know.
I think, I think the thing is that in Denmark there are no mountains. This is the only mountain. It's a very flat country. So it is actually making a mountain because we are not used to mountains. We have flats. We can't go skiing. I mean, we can go cross country, but there's no hills at all. So in that sense, this is the mountain. But I think that instead of I think that we were talking about things, but we're trying to make these images reflect the building, reflect the mountain. So when we're talking about mountains, you have to see the building. So it's kind of, I don't know, putting a mirror up in that way. So that's why I think we kept, just everything concentrated as it was the main character in a film, basically.
Yeah, I think we insisted really on focusing on the building. Less is more is like a term that I think is very well described in this one, even maybe. But also, like, we were very insisting with the music. There's this one piece of music. There's only one building in the film. That's the building. there are some small trips to other places in the world, but we don't explore other power plants. How do they work, or how do they look in the other parts of the country? We really try to focus on this story and stay there all the time. With the music, and I think everything was, we made up some rules for ourselves that kind of worked in not going too many directions and making it this piece that we really like the outcome of.
The music is here a question I wanted to ask, because it's also a very strong choice in the sense it works very well. I think I like so much Rimsky-Korsakov, Sherazade, but at the same time, it's a strong choice. I mean, you take this piece and even very philological, I will say, because you start from the beginning of the of the work and you continue. So for people that know the music, there is really a perfect continuity. But yeah, I would like to know more about this choice. Why specifically this? Of course, is a nice piece of music, but it is something more probably. I don't know.
we did listen to a few different tracks. Wagner, I started out with Wagner. I don't know, I had an idea that Wagner would work. But I think what we really like and what we seldom are allowed to do with documentaries is go so big. With documentaries, you always kind of like have to, not too much, because then you will impose something on some real people. And this project was so insane, and the building is so insane. So we were like, just let's take it all the way. And then Rikke started to cut it, and then it actually worked with like, okay, we start from the beginning and then we just go forward. So I think we had a lot of fun.
I think also we were thinking about all these old, also coming back to that factory is actually, I mean, for many years people have hated factories. Now we had to fall in love with the factory. So we put on this, like we kind of looked back at the old Russian and old kind of these, they had this very kind of magic, epic music to kind of impose put on the factories to kind of lift them up. And it was kind of it's really fun to do that for once. And we were like, okay, so now we put this music on, now we have to hear it, and we have to hear it. Now we're sitting in the mix. Okay, how loud can it get? Because this building is so big, so you can actually put really, really loud music on it, you know. And to sit and I mean, people watch it on screens now, but if you see it in the cinema, it's really beautiful mixed. The Rasmus who did the music is, I mean, the mixing is amazing. And so you start and then you hear, you know, the little birds and the things in the park, and then the music comes up, and I mean, yeah.
Yeah, and I think also because this project is so visionary, and but at the same time put these dreams into reality. I mean, it's very real, and it's done, and that's incredible. So the film is also documentary as a documentary attitude. And this music is a sort of balance. It recalls us the fictional aspect. It's a story. Sherazade tells story, and the way telling story is the way to survive, actually. And I like very much this idea, this choice of Sherazade, because in a sense, it's the survival, or the way, if we think to the climate problem, and what is the solution there. It's a sort of survival project, but at the same time, even putting in reality something very, very fictional. So,
that's a great analysis. Yeah, really.
But just a little curiosity. A little curiosity, because I read that this the Soviet state orchestra, it was just a case, or just. There is not a specific choice, because
but it had this kind of old. It was kind of old. Normally, the what do you call it? Recording. It has this very. It has a little. It has this old and a very romantic way of playing it. Yeah. You know, it has a very. I don't know how to explain it better. It's kind of had this very. So it had that feeling. It was very epic in the old. I think if you took a newer recording, it probably have been more precise and more clear and less, I don't know, more. It was played very, very, yeah, very,
very
old school.
Yeah.
But on a modern building. So it was kind of a clash between the two, because we tried some newer ones.
Right.
Not because there was a lot about rights and blah blah blah. When you use music like that, and it didn't have the same, I don't know, feeling to it.
Probably a question to you, Rikke, about the editing process or the construction of the film or together. Because, okay, the music is a very strong thread, but at the same time, you decide to build chapters. And they are very, very clearly defined, these chapters. Was it a sort of necessary solution to put together many different things, or when did you decide to do this and why? So to create this.
When did we decide? We were sitting talking about it. When did we decide the chapters? It kind of came
in a little late.
Yeah,
it wasn't there in the beginning, but I think it started with there were so many points to dive into during these 10 years that we picked, like the ski surface. That is one theme. Okay, then we have another theme. We have another theme. So I think those themes kind of informed these chapters. But it was also a little bit with the music that kind of has this storytelling in it. It's like you're turning a page and then a new part comes in the music. And it was a little bit the same. It felt right. I think we didn't question it very long, but it came in a little bit late when we were trying to.
But we were very happy when we found it.
Yeah. I think we had one more chapter at one point, but we took it out. I don't remember really. Yeah.
No, we had this. It was nice to have you have these, because it could be that there was so much material in the beginning, and there was so many people talking, and it was just like meetings. And they are filmed in millions of meetings. A lot about budgets. There's hundreds of hours of people talking about money and budgets. So we kind of had to make it how to kind of find these more visual stories within, and then and these chapters came with the music. It was actually a very really happy when we found that idea.
Yeah.
And another thread, of course, is this, I would say, a sort of polarity about the characters, because, of course, Bjarne Ingels is the main character, is the star, and he's in the real life a star, an architect star. So, and the other character, this is sort of counterbalance, but with the same visionary attitude, is Ulla Röttger, she is the CEO of the power plant. And was it clear from the beginning that she will play an important role in the film, because in a sort of in a sense it's a sort of the connection with the city, with the people, with the real I would say not just dream, but even with the real condition.
Yeah, definitely. The project wouldn't have happened without her, that's for sure. She didn't pick it on her own, but she was rooting for it from the very beginning, and also for Bjarke's vision, and them together were a great couple. So we definitely wanted to see scenes with them together as much as we could, because she was on one side, he was the other, but she was also struggling with budgets, political issues, and such. So she had a major part in this project, if it would happen or not. So
I like very much the moment when she speaks about, of course, the budget problem is always a bit normal, the same at the end of a big architecture project. But then she tried to reflect about the fact that we cannot now at the end for little money. There are millions, but still little in comparison with a big project. To be faithful to this vision, this vision
Right.
until the end. And I think it's very important because it's probably more visionary as a politician, or a politician, I would say, or someone that have to speak with politician or with the sponsor, to have this attitude until the end. And this was quite strong. It's probably even stronger than the big vision of Björn.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Definitely.
Yeah, and
but also we wanted to make her also to build her as a character, and also give her, because she is a very colorful person, and she sings every start of a meeting. She stands up, she sings out loud when there's the willkommen. You know, she was kind of, she is that kind of character in real life. So they were used to it, because we were showing the film and they were like, so what would they say if we pick the scene? And the guys were like, yeah, sure, because you always do that. You know, for them it was normal. You know, it's like this, and to give her the power all the way through to fight for this project. I mean, she's an amazing person. But I think, yeah.
What is the commitment of the film now in the reception, actually? Because I would like, first of all, to know about Copenhagen. Is the film was screened in Copenhagen? How is the reception? Because I mean, the film is 55 minutes, I think. So it's a format that is, of course, now did a lot of festivals, but it's also a format that that is easy to show in television formats. I think that you have a special commitment to spread to show this film to large public, so a large audience. So I was the experience in Copenhagen. I don't know if it was.
It was very, very good. Now that we're being honest, we could be. Actually, the Danish broadcasters, they didn't take it.
Okay. Oh, wow.
And we're amazed too. But I think it has, like, the building has been in a lot of news and in media, and in CNN was there, New York Times were there, like, so it has already been spoken of quite a lot in the Danish media. But I think our broadcasters don't have that kind of artistic strand that this film may go into. But we did screen it at a festival here last year, which was great, and we got a very good review in the newspaper. And so, but it's, you know, it's Corona time, so it's difficult to really gather big audiences. Yeah.
Was it there to create probably an open air cinema on the slope?
Yeah, that's actually that's been talked about a few times, and I hope it'll happen this summer. But because of the restrictions, we haven't really been able to gather many people yet, because we came out with the film in April last year.
Yeah.
Pretty bad timing.
Yeah, but they really wanted to do a big show out there and
Yeah.
screen it there and big and big. They were doing all this, had all this preparation, but everything was just shut down. So
Yeah.
because they were really happy about it. So they really wanted to make and they even wanted to make the opening of the festival there and everything. But it just kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
So let's say that Swiss television now is quite visionary in comparison.
Yes, thank you.
Danish, because
So happy. Thanks a lot.
So happy. We're so happy.
I want just to remember that the film is available in SRF Mediathek for several weeks now, and so I just suggest to everyone to discover this wonderful film, very strong, and with a very, very strong message, I will say, because we need this visionary attitude and approaching not only architectural themes, but also social and ecological questions. So thank you very much, Rikke and Kaspar. I don't know if you want to add something or something special you want to add.
No, we just hope people will see it, and it has a really strong, you know, commitment for the climate and for everything. We haven't talked about that so much, but it's kind of, it's it's really important that you kind of take care of your garbage and you clean the smoke 100% and or 99%. And so what is done inside this building, we haven't even talked about, but it's amazing. So the whole project is epic.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yes.
Thanks a lot for having us.
Yes, thank you so much.
So,
yeah.
So thank you again, and yeah, hope that this film will continue to travel, and because it's a very good example also to discuss and for other probably projects. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.